Let's get back to the studio where I have the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi. Honorable Minister, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Interestingly, you were at the Senate and we were talking about the possibility of having Mr. President come in for the first time, not presenting a budget. How do you see this?
Well, this is brilliant, and one thing you cannot take away is the fact that he is a super Democrat. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a super Democrat, and of course he wants to create innovative ways of governance, and the relationship between the various arms of government is critical to the success of government. And I think with a chief of staff who was Speaker of the House of Representatives, the People's House, I think you should expect that certain things that have been said in the past will come to play, as in this case. And it's a very positive and sweet realization of the fact that democracy is what we need to deepen.
Indeed.
And doing this is a way of deepening that democracy. And to say that celebrating my 1 year in office and also having a handshake
Indeed.
with the National Assembly, and at any rate, he was a senator.
Absolutely.
The vice president is.
We were just talking about
the
that.
First lady is.
That U.S.
The SGF is.
I mean, it's an amazing combination that we have.
Absolutely.
And perhaps it also would mean that this administration might likely not have issues with the 10th National Assembly.
Well,
are you optimistic about that?
Yes, I'm optimistic that we shouldn't have issues, but let's not get it wrong. The National Assembly will still do their work, and the executive will still do their work.
You know what I'm talking about?
But what I'm looking at is that the rules of engagement are better understood by the players on both sides.
On both sides.
And that is what is going to make it seamless, yes.
Indeed.
And I think that is the wealth of experience. The SGF is a senator, the First Lady, Mr. President, his vice, and substantial numbers of, and the Chief of Staff was a presiding officer. So I think when you look at all of these, and of course the Deputy Chief of Staff to Mr. President, who is in the office of the Vice President, my friend Senator Hadija, is also a senator. So I think the combination of legislative experience that this government is having will be a key game changer.
All right, we're looking forward to it.
Relationship.
We're also counting on it,
yeah.
Such that it doesn't now become a narrative of, an organ becoming a rubber stamp, whatever the conversation.
No, well, like I said, that is why I was trying to tease the facts, because one thing is certain: when we understand what needs to be done and we act in that manner, then you won't see problem. It doesn't mean they are rubber stamps. It's just that the executive is doing the right thing. And when you do the right thing and you take it to chamber, okay, are they suddenly going to say, okay, because they just want to have crisis, then they will say, no, this is not right.
Indeed.
And I think that is just the point that people should take note of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So time will tell whether or not Mr. President will address the joint session of the National Assembly today, or he will just be there to open up the new complex. Let's turn our attention to your ministry. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, recently was quoted to have said that this administration has injected 309 billion naira through wheat production. That's a huge amount of money, and it made headlines everywhere. And then people are like, so why is there still hunger in the land? Why is food so expensive? Maybe we should begin from there.
All right. When you say inject, people misunderstood what was said. And the minister never said we injected. He was quoted out of context. What he was presenting is that the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's charge for the Renew Hope agenda for food security, we started the dry season farming last year. The dry season farming was 2023-2024 season. Last year, November, we were in Jigawa State to launch that particular program. Now, overall, we had 118,000 hectares that were farmed for wheat. And the grains that came out of that production was what he was saying. The output of that effort was estimated to be worth 309 billion.
Okay.
It's not raw 309 billion that was put. No, the output of our effort is worth 309 billion.
So where are all these wheats?
The wheat are there in the market, and as we speak, maybe perhaps it will be of interest if you can decide to engage the market in terms of, for example, the flour mill of Nigeria, who are a major users of the wheat, and you understand what we have been able to achieve.
You know, the way Nigerians process this information is such a way that they mirror it with their current economic reality.
We understand that,
and whether or not it has impacted on the price of food.
Okay, but listen to it.
Yes,
you don't eat raw wheat, do you? You process it into flour, isn't it? And then many products are made out of it. But what is important is that before now, what was our volume of production? It was below 120,000 tons. And in this, we have produced over 400 something thousand tons of wheat. So, and we've just started. That was the first year. Now, with what we are doing, we are preparing both for the rainy season and the dry season. The intendment is that we are going to increase our size of production because, you see, it is a simple demand and supply thing. But at the same time also, let's not forget that agriculture is not operated in a vacuum. When we produce, there is value chain, and prices are impacted by various value chain activities, which is far beyond what agriculture can do. But let me say that we are aware, for example, you look at transport. Now, based on the new renewed hope agenda for transportation sector, of course, we are looking at the CNG driven vehicles, which will bring down the cost of logistics, and when that happens, it will impact on that. But I know, yes, somebody will say, well, we are hungry. That is true. But we can't solve this problem just with one soup action. And the president has said it very times without number that, look, I'm not a magician. I'm here to work. I want to understand the problems, and I get down to work. And we have been working. Part of that working is the fact that now we are having a dry season program, which was never something we give attention to before. But now we are going to. Our emphasis is for us to have all year-round farming and overall increase the productivity of this effort. And that is why you hear us talking about the mechanization, what do they call it, programs of government. We are having agreement with John Deere. In fact, for that particular one, as we speak, 500, tractors are on their way to Nigeria. And the Green Imperative project is there. The Greener Hope mechanization project is there. And all of this is designed to provide mechanization services to many farmers.
Indeed.
And definitely, Nigerian youths are the key target here, because no youth would like to go into farming using hoe and cutlass. We want to change the narrative. When you bring mechanization, a lot can happen. Planters, harvesters, ridgers, all the things. And I remember vividly when you say, look, those tractors should come with AC so I can put on my tie. And that is the mentality of the youth, and they are right about it. And what I also want to say here is the fact that when we continue to do our own production and we have food available with other indices that are impacted also being taken care of course, the vision is for us to have food that is affordable and is available on a sustainable basis.
So this administration has done 1 year now.